Thank you very much for joining me. How you been? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Back. Steve Renazizi. I'm the guy. I'm the guy. Fucking lit. I'm the guy. Steve Renazizi. Lit. I'm the guy. I'm the guy. Fucking lit. I'm the guy. Steve Renazizi. What's the odds? What's the odds? What's the odds?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's What's the Odds with Steve Renazizi. Thank you very much for joining us again. Yes, we were not live last week. I understand. I had a rough week, okay? My team lost the World Series, and we didn't even really show up. I showed up. I was there twice out of 3 home games. I showed up. I cheered my fucking ass off. Anyway, I'm in New York. Brenton and Lucas, I assume you guys are both in LA, correct?
Mhm.
Yep. Brenton and I were just talking. Our weather is flip-flop, dude. It was 78 degrees here today. It's like 62 right now. I got my window open. I'm sitting in my office with the window open. It's beautiful. I played golf today. We haven't had rain in like 2 months. It reminds me of like old, like when I first got to LA in the 2000s, LA November weather. Like breezy, beautiful, unbelievable weather. Perfect weather to have a victory parade in and then burn the fucking place to the ground. Look, I'm not saying I'm happy about the fires going on out there, but after I heard Joe Kelly's run his mouth, I was like, serves you right. That's what you get. Look, look. I don't know. I mean, I tip my cap to the Dodgers. I really do. They played, great baseball. They're a great team. And my fear is they're only going to get better. This is like probably the worst version of the Dodgers. You look at their who they have on staff that's not even active right now, that's on the injured list. It's ridiculous. So it's it was tough. It was tough to watch. Like I said, I don't know. We didn't do this before game one. Last time we did this was before the World Series, right? So game one was game one destroyed me. Game one was like it was everything that went wrong in our like everything that the Yankees kind of all our little things that pop up here and there, everything that can go wrong can go wrong. You literally you take out Cole after 88 pitches and you just assume that, maybe he's spent, maybe he's not, whatever. I don't know. I can't imagine. I can't imagine Tom Seaver. I can't imagine Nolan Ryan or fucking anyone else fucking Greg Maddux, anyone else pulling themselves out of game one of the World Series after 88 pitches unless they were unhealthy, but that's not whatever. That's okay. And then you just go from there and you blow the game with errors, which is our problem. Our problem is fielding and base running. And both of those things reared their ugly heads. Game two, they didn't really, they were kind of slam dunked from the first night. Still a 4-2 game. They came back, but they didn't have enough. And then three was just, I mean, the feeling at three, the will for us to win that game. The crowd was so excited to win that game. Jeter came out, threw out the first pitch. The national anthem was fine. It was, Leslie Odom Jr. did the national anthem. People were psyched. Let's be honest. The what's his the rapper before? What's his name? I'm blanking on
Fat
him.
Joe?
Fat Joe. It's like it didn't work. It didn't work in the stadium, and all I was getting was texting from home, being like, "This sucks, dude. Like this is unwatchable." It's almost like, why would they do that? Why would they try to like the Ice Cube thing? As pissed off as I was after game one, I was like, all right, I get it. Like this is like, and then he was like, it looked like he was lip syncing. Everything was off. He looked sweaty. And Jonah was like, "Who's this?" I was like, "I can't even believe that this is happening right now." And then Freddie Freeman just blows us up in the first inning, sucked the wind right out of the fucking place. It was, look, by the time what's his name hit the home run in the last inning, it was sort of already done. The Verdugo hit the home run, and people were sort of like, "Yeah, all right," but not really. Like it didn't really matter. It did. It was, and then I was like, "Well, I'm going on. I'm going. We're not getting swept, and I'm going. And we're about to watch the greatest comeback." Because, by the way, I'm watching this all live at the same time. You know that Netflix documentary about the comeback for the Red
Hmm.
Sox that's been going. So I said before I went to that game on Wednesday or Tuesday with Ari, I said, "You know what? Let me watch a little bit of this documentary." I was taking the train. I watched the documentary, and I watched the first half was really great for the Yankees, and then I watched the half that sucked for us. But the one thing I took from it is that it's possible, and that all you have to do is believe. And I said to myself, "Don't open the door.
Well, that's
Don't
not
let
all
them
you have
open
to
the
do.
door."
You got to believe, but you also have to catch a fly ball to center field in the fifth inning.
Well, we won game four. Okay. So let me get to game five when I get to it,
Okay.
please. We won game four. Can I have a little joy in my life? The one game I went to that we won, never been to a World Series game, never long a win. And then
Can we
it
play
was
real
great.
quick? Can we play over under on your ticket prices?
Go
Because I
ahead.
imagine game four was probably more expensive than, well, no, game
You
five
know what?
probably
I
would have
take
been
it.
more.
I only know game three prices because I have to pay Ari for Jonah's ticket. I took Jonah, but Ari and I and Mike Cannon decided we're going to do shows to pay for our tickets. Which, by the way, if you're listening to this, hopefully you get this in time. November 11th, this Monday, Veterans Day. If you're in the Rockland County area, the West Nyack area, myself, Ari Shafir, Mike Cannon doing a show at 7 p.m. at the Levity Live in Rockland County. And all proceeds go to pay back Ari's credit card bill for the World Series tickets that he bought for us for game
What a
two,
wonderful
three,
thing
and
you're
four.
doing for the veterans. Um,
Yeah.
I would guess they're probably slightly over 2K a ticket with fees.
No, it was $1,000.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, and probably cheaper for game four.
Hmm.
Our seats were great
Yeah,
too.
if you had won game three and it was a more
Yes.
competitive, then yeah, game four probably would have been much more. And then game five, if you had gone 2-2, probably would
If
have
I
been
went to
over.
game five, now let's get to game five. Game five, I watched at home a week ago last night, and I said to myself, okay, well, they made the mistake. That was the feeling. Leaving the stadium on Tuesday night, they fucked up. The Dodgers fucked up. Even the guy that ripped the glove, like that got us going, dude.
Hmm.
That like people were like, "What animals?" I go, "No, dude. That guy, we needed that guy on the wall. He knew the out was coming." Now, look, I didn't agree with ripping at like the wrist and stuff like that, but whatever, dude. And he got kicked out of the stadium. That's fine. He took one for the team, but we won the game and they got us going. And the feeling was if they fucked up, they let us in the door. We're going to come back and we're going to win this thing one at a
Hmm.
time. And going into the Wednesday night game, it was like, you could not have scripted that any better. Home runs from Judge in the first. It's like, oh, he's back. Everyone's back. Everything is happening here. Cole's pitching his ass off. We're winning. It's this is it. We're going to go back to LA, and they're now all the pressure's on them. I felt from the set this after we went up 4-0 in game five. I said, now all the pressure is now on the Dodgers. They don't want to lose this game and they don't want to fly back for a game six.
Hmm.
And then we fucked it up. We fucked it up. The fly ball is center. I don't know what this look, he's had such a tough time of it this postseason. He's going to win the MVP in a matter of days, and it's going to be the most anticlimactic thing you've ever seen in your life. The memes, the social media, the ball dropping in Times Square coming out of his glove, I've seen them all. I'm sure he's seen them all. That was step one. You know, Volpe coming over and the throw in the dirt, step two, and then Cole not covering that, and
That's
Rizzo not like.
insane to me. Like that, I get it. Judge, it's a routine play. He should have had it, but stuff like that does happen. The Volpe throw, sure, okay,
But you know what
but
it is? It's
but
a
you can't
microcosm of
mentally, you have, that's little league. You
it's
cover
a
the bag.
yes. It's a microcosm though of the Yankees. It's almost like all the pressure is on the guy to make the play in center field, and he doesn't. Everyone goes, "Oh my God, what's going on here?" Then the ball's hit to a rookie who's really, really good, but in certain situations just has a habit of not doing the right thing. And then all that pressure now put on your guy that you rely on time after time after time after time. And he somehow Houdini's his way out of striking out fucking Otani and Betts. I know the nine guy and Otani. And you get Betts to roll to ground ball to first base. And I'm telling you, it's like he almost was like like a sigh of relief. Like I got out of this. Like he started to go, and he goes, "This ball is not hit hard enough that it is in a split second. All I'm my job is done, dude. I did it. I fucking
Mhm.
did it. I got us out of that jam. There's no way with the speed of this ball, which was 52 miles an hour, dude. I've seen graphics of this 52 miles an hour. And Rizzo fielded it at the same distance he was playing when he fielded the ball 52 miles an hour. That is nothing, dude. That's 12U ground ball
Yeah.
outs, 52 miles an hour. The kids throw 65, 70. The exit velo off these bats is way faster than 52. I saw kids at 51 feet this past weekend in Houston fielding ground balls hit twice as hard and charging them. And he sat back, assuming that it's just going to be boom, boom, boom. And everybody, there's too much pressure on Cole when you need him. Rizzo just goes a little bit too nonchalant, the Glaber Torres, the this and that, and it all combines to that. And that's it, dude. You get the lead back, and then you blow it in the. It's all for nothing after that. You gave it away, and then you got to live with that. You got to live with that because best case scenario for the Yankees is they can do as well as they did this year, get back to the World Series. You know who you're going to probably play again next year if you're lucky? You're probably not lucky, but if somebody beats them, I don't want to play them. You're going to play a Dodgers team again
And Otani's going to be
who's
pitching.
better.
Yeah.
They'll be better.
Hmm.
What are you going to be?
Well, Rizzo's out, so who knows what they're going to be.
Rizzo's out. But we shouldn't have to. I mean, we should have the ability for the Yankees is to look for the guy that not necessarily is the Rizzo. Give me the guy that you can rely on defensively, the Tino Martinez. I don't want another Jason Giambi who it's like a big bat who just like now Rizzo was a Gold Glove first base, but it's over, dude. We got the worst part of him. We got the worst part of him. And people will be sad. He'll go to another team and he'll be great. He's a fan favorite and they'll love him when he comes back. Same thing with Glaber. Glaber Torres will not be re-signed. He will go to play for another team. He will bat lead off. He might even start off hot with a couple home runs. And all the Yankee fans will be like, oh man, look at Glaber over there. I wish we had Glaber back. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because he's just not good. He wasn't good enough. He thought he was better than he was. The nonchalant stuff. I'm not saying he's a bad defensive player. He's made some great plays. But in times of pressure and stress, World Series games, there is no room for error. There's none. You see it. There's none. It happens, you lose. That's it. It's over. There's no like, well, we'll tighten that up for next week for the next. It's over, dude. They're having a parade. Go on vacation. Try again next year. So congratulations to the Dodgers. And and now it's shuffle the deck. See what happens. Maybe we get Soto. Hopefully we do. But then again, I don't know what these numbers are going to be. I don't know how big they're going to be. I don't know how, I would love to have two generational players on the same team. It would be great. But again, I don't know what that's going to cost. So it sucks.
Well,
But we
hopefully
went to the
they're
World
gonna
Series.
pay whatever it costs because the Dodgers clearly are doing that. If you want to keep up with the Joneses, you're gonna have to pay.
And by the way, I haven't seen one thing about this, but let me tell you about game 4. Game 4, I was so convinced we were going to win. This is the game that me and Ari went to game 4. Mike tapped out, and I'm not paying another grand for Jonah to go. He went to one World Series game. That's it.
You
What
had
is
your
he?
moment.
Yeah. What is he? Baron Trump? Anyway, so I go, you know what? Just me and you are. We're at the game. Paul Neal throws out the first pitch for game 2. First of all, they had Ashanti sing the national anthem. I'm like, why are they? Yeah, but she's like from 30 years. I punked Ashanti in 2003, dude. Like, we're getting lit up by the Dodgers had Kenny Chesney. Like, he's at least a little current. Like, Ashanti? What the fuck's going on here in New York? And my theory is that everyone's too tied to the P. Diddy. Nobody wants to come out. In 2009, we had Jay-Z and Alicia Keys, but nobody wants to come out in the open now because I think this fucking Diddy thing's really, people are scattered. They're hiding out. So
Mhm.
Fat Joe's the only one we could get. Anyway, Paul Neal comes out to throw the first pitch. Business suit, the whole thing, the Warrior. We're gonna fucking win this game tonight, right? He digs into the rubber, leans back. He's lefty, does a little lean back, right? But slips, doesn't go to the ground, releases the ball. It goes into the net, dude. Into the fucking net.
Great
Baba
omen.
Booey style. He literally, like, the whole crowd just goes, like, and he immediately goes, bring it back, throw it back. Because AJ Burnett's catching the ball. And it didn't even, he had to go, like, run the cameraman to go get it. AJ Burnett goes, gets it, throws it back. O'Neal goes into the rubber, digs into the rubber now, right? Really digs in, and then leans back and then spikes one about 40 feet into the ground. And I turn to Ari, go, we're going to get our fucking doors blown off tonight. This wasn't like thank God this wasn't on television.
No.
Only the few rich fucks that could afford these tickets saw this. But this wasn't like the Chase Bank business, CEO coming out to do the first. This is Paul Neal, who's, he's got a monument in center field. He just threw 2 pitches nowhere near home plate. I go, we're fucked. And we were. It just was the wrong night. Matsui threw it out game 5. I don't know how he did, but we lost, so gives a fuck. Anyway, how was the parade? Did you guys go?
I did not.
I did go to the
No.
bus burning, but not the parade.
Where'd they burn those buses? Near the
Did you see
parade?
it?
No,
I don't know.
I heard about
Downtown,
it.
some every LA championship, there's a sacrificial bus.
They just
Did you see the pictures of it? They're pretty iconic. They're pretty cool looking if I can find them.
No, I haven't seen any of the pictures. No, I thought it was like a bus that people are on.
No.
No, I think they evacuated it before they lit it
Oh,
on
okay.
fire.
I thought it was like one of the parade buses that just like, at the end the executives are on and the fans just light it on fire and, everyone
No,
just
this
jumps out.
this is why LA can't have nice things.
Look at this. What time does parade start? I mean, these are night pictures,
It's
right?
been all week, Steve.
Yeah, it's still
The city's
going.
been really celebrating.
It is still going.
Yeah, the Trump victory might have put a dent in some people's plans, but
Oh my God. Are people jumping into that bus now to kill themselves out there? Wow. Oh my. Let's get into this, dude. Okay. I honestly did not see it being, I think I said this. I didn't think it was going to, I talked about it. I think I'm on, I didn't think it was going to be over for a while. I did not think it was going to be as, one-sided as it was. And the fact that it was that way, I don't know. I was like, oh, whoops, I was wrong. I don't really like care that much, but it is like the fact that it was that off. I think people, I don't know how people can't handle it, but it seems like they can't handle it. People cannot handle it. The true like sadness that you hear and like I'm getting texts. I still get these text messages now from Kamala, like her people. Like it is with
She's still
great, like,
texting.
oh yeah. I get the text now. It's like, although it did not, we move on, we move upward. Here, click here to donate. I go, no, bitch, you
Give us more
lost.
Is she
money,
still running?
please.
She's still
They
running.
still want the money, but it's now it's like it's sadness. It's like social media. People are like, I don't know how to handle people don't know how to handle it. People do not know how to handle it. I get it in 2016 when it was like, wait, what the fuck just happened? Like for real?
Yeah.
Like even when it came down to just the two of them, I was still like, there's no way, dude. It's kind of crazy, but there's no way. I thought in 20, I'm like, oh, he could win. He's, like that I believe. And this time I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm stupidly all I can do. I don't know how people like the polls lied to it. Yeah, well, that's all like you hear the polls. I don't believe them, but it's the only indication I have as to like which way I think. I mean, everyone around here that I live, like I live on Long Island, dude. Long Island's Republican. It's basically like Orange County. You're very few and far between as far as Democrats and stuff are concerned. But so of course that's all you hear. But I don't think I think people in certain parts of the world can't even believe that this has gone on. Is that the vibe in LA? Is it like beyond? It feels like in the city and stuff, it's beyond sadness. It's the people are like, it's the end.
Well, I'll be
I
honest.
mean,
I still haven't really left the house with the baby, so I don't know what the vibe is, but um, I mean, this isn't that shocking. You look at what's going on the last 4 years, and I think it just came down to people are like, we don't want to pay this much for shit. This guy's saying the right thing, and things hopefully will get cheaper now, and the stock market will go up, and the economy will be better. So, no one really wanted Kamala. It's the same thing in 2016 with Bernie Sanders. The Democrats, most Democratic voters wanted Bernie and they didn't want Hillary, but they forced Hillary in, and here they are forcing Kamala in, don't even get to vote. So yeah, this isn't that surprising. That being said, I get to be obnoxious about Dogecoin for the next 4 years because it seems like that's going to be pumped up again. So I'm pretty psyched about that.
He's a Bitcoin dude, right? He loves it.
Trump is all
I saw him
about crypto, and if Elon
crypto.
becomes part of that administration, Elon's going to pump up
Oh,
Dogecoin. I
he's
mean,
in.
it's at its highest that it's been in a couple of years, and it just keeps going up and up. So pretty psyched over
This
here.
is going to be the wildest administration in a while, though.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty wild. You're going to have Musk in there. You're going to have RFK in there. It's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be like shit, dude. Some of these guys don't really listen to the other people. We'll see what happens. I mean, it could be horrific, but it definitely there's not a lot of loopholes to jump through for this guy. This guy does what the fuck he wants to do.
I mean, he's got the House,
here's
the
what.
Senate, and the Supreme Court. So
And
literally,
Clarence Thomas is going to retire.
yeah, there's nothing stopping him from doing what he wants to
He's
do.
like, go find 22-year-old me, whatever, 31-year-old me.
Mhm.
So it's going to be. This is it. This is it's a mandate. That's what I didn't see coming. The mandate, but I'm not like, oh my god, like hello.
Now, here's my question to liberal friends. I ask them all: would you rather Trump have won in 2020, so you have 8 years of Trump, or what we got of 12 years of Trump? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess it'd probably be better that it was over. Although, I mean, look, again, this is horrific, but like, I don't think he's going, like, he'll be older than Biden when he's done with this new one. What is he going to be like in 4 years?
What's he going to be like in 2 years?
I don't know. Maybe things for him aren't diminished. Like I don't think it's like a slow decline.
They're
I
not
think it's going to be
diminished
like a
like
stroke or a heart
no,
attack,
but
and he's just done.
mentally he's not diminished like Biden, but there were like micro moments where you were like, what did he just say? What's going
That's just
on?
him, though.
Yeah, but I mean, it's so mixed in with such crazy, like like it's almost like trying to find a seashell in the sea. You're like, yeah, I think I noticed one over there, but there's just so much shit coming at you, with all the tangents he goes on, where you'd be like, wait a minute, was that like, yeah, like
It's the weave.
he mixes it in. Yeah, the weave. He weaves and weaves.
He's a master at the weave.
Uh, I find it interesting that the Puerto Rican vote was higher for this election for Trump than in the last election.
Well, again, it came down to people's pocketbooks.
Yeah, and
It's
I don't
100%.
think
Because how
Tony
can
Hinchcliffe's
you?
joke made any
No,
difference
it
at
made no
all.
difference. But like, how can Kamala sell us on things are going to be better? I'm going to improve everything when it's like, well, you're in the office down the hall. Why haven't things improved now? Like
Yeah,
you're already, you could do something, you could influence something. And I think between that and just their inability to get any moderates on their side. And again, I don't think she was the right candidate because you didn't let Democrats pick her. You just said, oh, she's the person now.
that's it.
She's going to be governor of California.
And she should have gone on Rogan. She should have done more public
Big
appearances.
mistake.
She should have
Huge.
been on the podcasts.
Like, I don't know what she thought her people told her that she was adding up to, but apparently she didn't want to go there.
I mean,
That's what I
that
heard. She
should
didn't want
tell
to go
you
there.
the influence that most podcasts,
She
ours
wanted him
not
to go
included, but
to,
most podcasts have a heavy influence on a lot of things now.
yeah, she wanted him to go to DC and sort of, work around that schedule. And I think his thing was like, no, this is the Joe Rogan show. It happens in my studio. And if it's somewhere else, then it's not my show. And it's not, if there's other people watching and this and that. So it was a mistake. It's like that's shit, the way you go to a donor, the way you go to the fat cats to go to those fucking crisscross to get the checks. That's the one stop you should make.
Yeah. I mean, stuff like that, you gotta ingrain yourself in pop culture. Like I remember before Obama won his second term, he went on Between Two Ferns with Galifianakis. They shot an episode in the White
Yeah.
House. It's one of the funniest fucking things ever. And even if you didn't like Obama, you're like, oh, I like that guy. Because
Well,
it's
because
just a
think about
funny
it.
sketch.
How many TikTok videos do you see of stump speeches from her on the trails? None during the day, maybe one of every 50,000, right? Videos you click. But how many did you see of clips of Trump on Rogan? It was every
Fucking
three. So it's
everywhere.
like you're not doing it for the hour and a half. You're getting residuals throughout the entire rest of the time, especially if you come off like a human being, come off personable, come off charming, can explain yourself. Maybe she would have shown a clear difference. I mean, they even let her go on after him. It's like you could have had follow-up questions and retorts to stuff he said. And Joe, he never really answered about where these, documents were that was supposed to show that the election was stolen. He keeps talking about it, but he never brought any documents. You asked him stuff like that, dude. You become a human being. That thing gets tossed around. That's a great point. Nobody can argue with that point. Not even Joe. Look at that. Look at that. That's it. You become a human being. And I don't know but
I mean, that was telling that she wouldn't do that and play ball, but also the fact that she didn't give a speech the night of the election. She just went home when you had all these thousands of people out there, her supporters, her most hardcore supporters waiting for her, still supporting her. And she just said, fuck it. Like that said a lot about who she is. So this isn't that shocking.
Yeah.
In hindsight, it's I mean, I was surprised that Trump won by the amount that he did, but I'm not surprised that he won.
The popular vote too.
Yeah.
First
You
time
guys gamble on
Republicans
it?
won. I didn't.
No, but
Oh, free money.
Trump
Free money.
was the favorite basically from the beginning with the books.
But
Oh, really?
I got it at like think I paid 55 cents to win a dollar. But here's where they screw you is I haven't been paid yet, and I won't
Oh,
get paid until
Jesus.
January 8th until he's
Ah,
Oh,
sworn
my
in.
yeah.
God.
So if
So
something
if anything were to
happens to
happen
him,
to him,
oh
I don't get my
wow.
money.
Oh,
Is that in
my
like the fine
God.
print?
I think it is. He has to
What
be
is,
Wow.
sworn in
So
on
the
okay, hold
so
on, time out. What is
but hang
something?
on.
Anything or something?
anything.
But
Anything.
wait, because you could get Kamala at 2 cents a contract by like 9 o'clock Pacific time, the night of the election, you could get her for like 2 cents. Hypothetically, if Biden was to resign and she was to become president before Trump gets sworn in, would they then have to pay out the contracts on that on top of Trump and they would just lose their ass on everything? Or is there some loophole written into that? Do you think that would prevent that? Because that's something that I've heard kind of thrown around. Kamala could still become the first female president if Biden just said, you know what, I'm going to resign for the fuck of it. Technically, she would become president, and wouldn't they have to pay all that money out?
Oh,
I
my God.
mean, I think Biden pretty much endorsed Trump when I think Biden was when he made the garbage comment anyway. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's, I look at it like he's going to get killed before that. Like that's really,
Right.
No, that won't happen.
Right.
That
I
won't
don't know,
happen.
dude.
They've tried twice.
Yeah. People
The
are
last
hitting
guy
up
was like
John Hinckley Jr. on the internet. Like he's gotten 1,200 requests. Have you seen that?
for
Mm-mm.
cameos.
No.
Okay.
John, no, they go, we need you again, dude. You know the guy that tried to kill Reagan?
Yeah.
We need you again.
Oh, he's out,
They're
isn't
Did
like,
he?
you?
They released him.
yes,
Yeah.
Unless
we need
Jodie Foster writes that email, he doesn't give a shit.
get your Superman cape back on. We need you. Like that's how. So I wouldn't put it past. That's crazy how they're like, look, we're not paying anyone until he's actually till we see a hand on the Bible and his other little tiny hand in the
Yeah,
air.
but I would love to see now Biden resign if they have to pay out all the Kamala people and then they have to pay out the Trump people in January because that we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. We're talking
It would
about,
be fun, but I don't want it to ruin political gambling. So I'm a big fan of this new trend.
I mean, MGM
Um,
would go belly up, Robinhood would crash, all these companies would lose
Also,
their ass.
hottest 1-2 duo 100% in the White House ever, as far as first ladies, because JD Vance's wife is hot and Melania Trump is still hot. 100% hottest 1-2 duo.
Well,
Like
we know who
state of
Horny
the
Steve voted for.
no state of it. Like when they have those state dinners, everyone's coming because those guys have hot wives. They just do. Look them both up. Name another hot wife combo that's better. I mean,
Jacqueline Kennedy and Lady Bird.
unless some women are really going to try to say Jill Biden and Michelle Obama, but no. Sorry. Sorry, ladies. Sorry. Let's be real. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
I'm not. I'm going back. There's none. Who was Kennedy's vice
Here, I got
president?
you
I don't
right
even know.
here. No, what about this? You got Lady Bird
Oh my
and
God.
Jacqueline. That's
Lady
enough.
Bird and Jack. Yeah. Lady Bird. Exactly. She was a fucking lunatic. Old lunatic. This is hot and hot. I think JD Vance's wife might be hotter than Melania.
And plus, if you include Trump's mistresses,
That's a stable and of its
Yeah, but
own.
you could include Kennedy's mistresses.
ooh, good point.
I think speaking of, this might be a record for the longest we've ever gone without talking about football leaning into this podcast, by the way. I mean, we're almost
Wait,
an
football's
hour
still
into
going
this
on?
thing.
I got the Ravens pregame on right now.
That's why I'm like, we have to get to the point of
Yeah.
talking about football. I know it's been a lot this week, guys. We have a lot of
Yeah.
emotions. I didn't even get to the fact that I was in Houston all weekend with Jonah's All-State tournament, which was unbelievable,
Looked like you guys
which
did
we
really
won.
well. Yeah.
We won the silver bracket, which was, the second level bracket, but any bracket you win against, you beat Louisiana, Arizona, the Southwest. Those are good teams. It was amazing. It was great, great baseball played by some unbelievable baseball players. And I also saw, talk about, it's down in Tech. Brian Cushing. Remember Brian Cushing, the linebacker? Was he a linebacker?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, he
yeah.
was there with his son's humongous.
Oh, I bet. I mean, Cushing was huge.
Yeah, he's still huge.
They
He's
said
like,
he started taking steroids in high school.
oh my God, dude, he's taking steroids and whatever he took in high school. His son is humongous. His son beat the shit out of me. I think his son's dating Tracy. 12 years old, dude. Yeah.
Uh,
Like elite athletic genetics are pretty insane. So it was awesome. But yeah, anyway, let's get to football. Speaking of real football, because look, I'm okay. The Giants are the Giants. They are what they are. That's fine. We'll
Can I talk
figure it
about a
out later.
fundamental problem of teams game planning against Washington real quick before you get
Go
into the
ahead.
Giants? So the Commanders'
Oh, excuse me.
weakness isn't the front four on defense. It's you pass on them, but no team seems to want to pass on them. And then you look at what the Giants did. They came out and they script the first 15 plays. I think they ran on at least 13, maybe 14 of those first 15 plays. And obviously they started really slow, but then they started throwing more as the game progressed, and suddenly it became more of a football game. And Jones actually put up a good stat line. Like he wasn't bad. So I wish at some point some of these teams and they play Pittsburgh this week, so maybe Tomlin will be the only smart coach who figures this out. They're going to throw more on them, and you're going to see that, oh, these guys they're a good team, but they're not quite there yet. They're above where we thought they were going to be, but they're not like right now they look like they could go to the Super Bowl. And it's just because no one's exploiting that secondary, which isn't good. I mean, Benjamin St-Juste is one of the worst coverage guys in football. So I
Well,
don't know.
they didn't they get a defensive. They got
They
someone. They got a
went and they
corner.
traded for Lattimore, which is
Lattimore.
amazing.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yes.
throw to the opposite side of Lattimore, move guys
Yep.
around,
But
and just avoid
they
Lattimore. And
acknowledge it.
yeah, they told everybody, yeah, we acknowledge that we can't cover the pass, but no one's been passing on them. Go
But what I
back week by
respect is the
week.
fact that they realized they're like, we didn't think we would be in this position to be obviously in a division leader and a playoff contender. So while we're not just going to sit here and go, oh, gee, we're
Well, yeah,
lucky. We're going to try to
they're
get a
going all
couple
in.
pieces. We're going to have to see we'll see if we can make a run.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of making a run, I'm happy with what Detroit did. I really hope
Oh yeah,
you
that was
know,
what they needed, and they're the
yep,
toast of the NFC. If they stay healthy enough, that's the team to beat in the NFC for sure.
they're so well coached. Defensively, they really play. I mean, a great unit together. Now they're going to be able to rush the passer. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they said in the Super Bowl, if they get there, it could be possibly that Aiden Hutchinson would be back. So I don't know. That would be an incredible story. So I love watching them play. I love watching Dan Campbell coach. Who are they playing on Thanksgiving? Do you know? I know the Giants are playing the Cowboys, which
Um, yeah,
sucks.
and
Another fucking
you'll be playing Cooper Rush though.
You're
Cooper
playing
Rush,
the Bears.
huh?
They're
Oh,
playing
they're
the
the
Bears.
Bears. Okay, that's cool. At least you get to see the two, the rookie. Yeah, Cooper Rush versus Daniel Jones, or maybe even by that point, it might be Drew
Oh, come
Lock
on.
versus Cooper
You gotta
Rush.
stick with Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones hasn't been the problem.
But there's a point now. I don't know what week that is, where you gotta like sit him if you want to cut him next year, because then you got to put him in bubble wrap because then you can cut him without having to pay him so if he gets hurt. I don't know what week
Yeah,
that
but
is,
that's
but
like week 15, week 16 stuff. That's
oh,
not
okay.
Thanksgiving.
Um. Anyway, yeah, it's not as exciting as you think it would be. But anyway, I think that the Lions are the best team in the NFC, and I look, everyone's all over Baltimore. We'll see again. We're doing
Well,
this
we're
right
about to
now.
see it. I mean, they should beat the Bengals. If they don't, and they
They
fall to
should beat the
6-4.
Bengals. But Houston should have beat the Jets last week, and that didn't happen. I was in Houston for that. It was a big surprise to everyone there. It was a big surprise to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, we said Vegas. I don't know what they were thinking, but I don't know what they saw or what
I
they
think they
knew.
saw that Stroud was without his top two weapons, and the offensive line has had some injuries and it's had problems. And the Jets, at least on
But then,
paper, have been one of the best rosters. They just haven't played well at all. And then they get
yeah.
Hassan
And if you
Reddick
look at it
back, and
now, there are teams now that have given up. You get Jacksonville's done.
Mhm.
The Raiders are done.
Yeah,
Uh,
officially Lawrence isn't going to be playing this week. It'll be Mac Jones.
yeah. New England's done. Miami's done.
Do you think they miss Belichick?
Oh, for it. I mean, growth spurts, growing pains. That's how it works. But yeah, Belichick, his first year in Cleveland, he sucked. Everyone that's gone on from there, besides
Uh,
Vrabel, has not done great. McDaniel's not done great.
Speaking of, do you think the
Uh,
Titans miss Vrabel?
Patricia didn't do great. Vrabel's going to be the guy. Vrabel will be the guy
Mm-hmm.
before Belichick, I think, depending on what we're talking about. But anyway, there are teams in the AFC that are done. There's only like 12 teams left. So the Jets are like, hey, why not us? We're not done.
Jets have a great schedule. They could go on a run.
You never know.
It wouldn't be shocking at all if they could get as high as like the fourth or fifth seed. I don't think at this point they're going to catch Buffalo unless something happens to Josh or something drastic with injuries happens. I think Buffalo's playing good enough football that with a 4-game lead going into week 10, they probably won't have the same kind of breakdown that Miami had last year. The Dolphins are just done, especially if they lose Monday. Like, I mean, they're playing for a top 3 pick
Yeah.
because the Rams just got healthier. They've got Puka and Cup back, and they just got 2 of their starting offensive linemen came off IR today. So the Rams are going to be at 100%. And, we thought the weak spot might be their pass rush, but that rookie Verse, like he looks great. He's kind of filled that void, and they can play good enough defense to shut down Miami enough, and they can score enough points with what they have. Like Miami, what would they be? 2-8 at that point?
Yeah. I mean,
That's
done.
crazy.
Yeah. So, there are teams that are out of it. And that's why you have these teams sticking around. Let's get to this week. Because there are
Crazy
some
too. I'm reading
games.
that Jared Verse is the first Rams first round pick since they took Jared Goff in 2016. So
Yeah.
they went 8
They
years without having a first
sold the
round pick.
house to get Stafford.
Yep. Yeah.
And Ramsey.
Yeah.
Well, that was their MO. The years that they thought they were close, they gave away first round draft picks to get the pieces. I mean, what's even the guy you have? They gave up on Buffalo, the defensive end who's not playing right now. He's suspended.
Oh yeah, Von Miller.
Von Miller. They
Von
gave
Miller's
up.
back. He was suspended, but
Oh,
he
yeah.
served his time. He's back.
But
He's
they gave
just
up,
not
I think, a
showing up
first
on the
round to
field.
get Von Miller, right? When they needed Von Miller
Yeah.
to win a Super Bowl
And that paid
or
off.
get to the Super Bowl. Yeah. What do you guys think about? Here's my number one thing I think. I think Pittsburgh's going to beat the Commanders.
Really?
They're a 3-point dog.
Well, welcome to the club. I've been anointed the Jaden Daniels hater.
No, I'm not a hater on Jaden Daniels.
I'm not either, but I've
just-
been anointed that because I won't
I
bow
just
down
think
and
it'll-
say he's the MVP of the league, putting up comparable stats to Bo Nix each week.
No,
Yeah, the
I'm
Steelers.
saying that
The Steelers have a very good defense. Oh, and speaking of the Commanders, again, just to stress the point that it's a team thing and not just Jaden Daniels. The Giants were second in the NFL in sacks, and the Commanders didn't give up a single sack to the Giants. That should say a lot about the offensive line, again, which is probably the best in football right now. But yeah, I'm with you. Like, I think Tomlin's smart enough to game plan to throw more, and they went and they got uh, Mike Williams. So now
Yep.
you got a guy who can stretch the field with Pickens on the other side and Freiermuth in the middle. So you have some people that Wilson can throw to. Wilson has looked a lot better than
Decent, very
people
good.
thought.
Yes.
So I think they're smart enough to game plan to exploit the weaknesses and throw away from Lattimore and expose that secondary in Washington. And then they have enough firepower on their defense that they can slow down Jaden Daniels in that offense.
And I think Mike Tomlin's a better coach than what's his name over in
Absolutely. Dan Quinn is great, but Mike
you look
Tomlin is like the poster child of consistency and consistent
Mike Tomlin
greatness.
goes into the first half tied or behind a little bit, and he comes out the second half and he makes adjustments and
Yeah.
he blows the other team
And
out.
the
So
craziest
that's
part
the
of
one
that
that I was
team
like,
is if something happens to Wilson and he goes down, then Justin Fields comes in. So
because the way you look at it, Washington's at home, the home team, and they're a 3-point favorite. So it's basically a pick 'em game. And if
yes,
I'm picking two teams here playing, I'm picking Pittsburgh. So I know I feel like I've been on Pittsburgh's jock, or as the kids say, glazing Pittsburgh.
that's
I glaze
justified though.
Pittsburgh.
That's a good football team.
Yeah. Hello. Fundamentally sound. The opposite of the New York Yankees and the
And
Giants.
they can win those gritty games. They love playing those gritty games.
Um, I like the Bengals tonight, but we're not even going to mess around with that.
No, and this will be out way after the game.
Yes, I
I mean,
know.
the
That's
game
why I
starts
said
in 13 minutes.
exactly. So
Um,
that's why I'm like, but I'm just saying for the
but
record,
do you like the
with the
Bengals to
points,
cover
the
or to win
cover.
outright?
I like it. I think it's going to be a close. This is a shootout game. These games are always no one's blowing each other out. No one's winning by a touchdown. This is a 3.4 point game.
Do you
Done.
like the over or the under? They scored 70 last time they were there,
53.
but
What's any weather? I haven't looked.
I think
They're in Baltimore, right?
I think there's going to be rain, but I'm
Mhm.
not 100% sure. But 86% of the money is on the over right now, which led me to take the under.
Oh,
And I teased it up from 52 and a half to 58 and a half.
how much? Oh, okay, that's good.
So as long as there's not 59 points scored, I think someone will get a lead and then they'll just try to sit on the ball and run it, especially if it's the Ravens, which it probably will be. They'll just give it to Henry and they got Keontae Mitchell, he's back tonight. So I think they'll try to run it a little bit more and really speed up the clock and slow down the game. But yeah, I like the Bengals could definitely cover tonight with 6 points. But I like the Ravens to win for sure. And I like that under, which is now at 53. It was 52 and a half. So yeah, all the money's going in on the over. What
Um,
about your Giants in Germany?
Look, I like them, but I don't know about the 6.5. It's like this is not a 6.5 point cover team. This team hasn't scored 20 points all season long. How are we going to fucking cover 6.5?
Mm-hmm.
You got Bryce Young playing again this week for whatever reason. God only knows. Maybe he's German. Um, and so I don't know. Maybe that's but I feel like the Giants defense should destroy him. We should sack the fuck out of him.
Yep.
So I think it should be like a low scoring game, like a 20-10 game. But I don't know. Maybe six. I just don't like 6.5. I think the Giants are going to win. I take them on the money line, but I don't know what that gets me. You know what I'm saying?
Minus
It
280
doesn't.
on BetDSI.
Yeah, not great.
But
So I don't know if it's worth it.
it's like a free square. There's a couple of free
Yeah.
squares, or
By
at
the way,
least they
free.
should be.
Last time we did the free. Can I just remind you the free
I
square,
know.
Mister Free Square? The
Well,
Jets beating the fucking the
that
Patriots was a free square.
was insane.
Yeah, I know, Mister Free Square. So
But
let's not go free
there are
squares.
multiple free squares this week.
There's no free squares.
The Giants are a free square. Okay, how about the Minnesota Vikings going to Jacksonville? No Trevor Lawrence. They traded away Cam Robinson, who is now on the other side. They lost Christian Kirk for the year. Brian
I
Thomas Jr.
get
has
it.
been banged up. ETN's been banged up. The
What's
Vikings are
the
rolling.
yeah? What's the
The
spread?
Vikings
Nine and
are
a
a
half.
7-point favorite on the road.
All right, I would take the Vikings, and I don't think that's as close as a
Free
gimme as you
square.
got. Free square, but I wouldn't call it any free squares.
How about the
I
Saints?
got free square.
Saints have given
Oh,
up.
here we
That's
go.
another team
Here we
that's given
go.
up.
Here we
Go
go.
ahead,
Free
Lucas.
square, Lucas. Go ahead.
The Rams over the Dolphins. That's free money. A
Absolutely.
point?
Free money.
The line is a point?
Come
That's
on.
You
easier
know,
than voting for.
McDaniels, all of a sudden he wants to go beat his old friend over there. They used to coach in Washington together.
He's
I
not
know
beating
your
McVay.
teams.
He can't
He's
You
not
know
beat
beating
my
McVay.
he
team.
can't beat teams with winning records. He's beaten what, the Cowboys in the last 2
What if
years, and
this is
that's
the game
it.
that Tua and Hill just go off for 200 yards
Well,
together
we've
and
been
3
waiting.
touchdowns?
When is that game
Well, I
coming?
know, but it could happen, Mr. Free Square.
Free square. Rams are gonna roll.
Do whatever you want. I gave you my pick. I gave you actual
So
points about it,
you like the
reasons.
Steelers plus 2.5 is what they're on BetDSI, or do you like them on the money
Oh,
line?
yeah. No, no,
Because
no.
plus
Give
two
me
and a
the
half
two
is
and a
plus
half.
100. It's juiced anyway.
I love it. I love it.
The Bills are 4-point favorites on the road in Indy. The Colts get their
I
left
don't know how you
tackle
feel. I
back,
think they're going to
but
win.
their starting center is out. But
Zach,
Buffalo
what's his name?
maybe
Nelson? Quentin
uh
Nelson?
what's his name? Um,
The Colts?
Colts
Isn't it
starting
Quentin
center.
Nelson?
It's
I thought he was a guard.
Oh, guard, yeah.
Bordolini.
Ryan Kelly.
Ryan
No, it's not
Kelly's
Ryan
out, and
Kelly.
Bordolini is now the backup.
Yeah.
So I like that for our defense, but at the same time, it doesn't look like Coleman's going to play, and Amari Cooper has a wrist injury. So that wouldn't be great if they both sit. But I think, again, everything's going to run through Josh. And if he's healthy and good to go, they should win this game. But I like Detroit over Houston. I think Houston's just reeling, and Nico Collins is not going to play again this week. So unless Tank Dell goes off for 300 yards, the Lions probably are going to handle the Texans. And then you got the Eagles will probably beat Dallas. Oh, and the Chargers, Titans. Titans got to go across country, West Coast, in LA. Chargers are a pretty good football team, and Tennessee is one of those teams that's given up. Even with Will Levis probably coming back. Honestly, Mason Rudolph's looked a lot better than Will Levis.
Yeah, he has. It's tough to say, but he has. Mason Rudolph's like fucking a mole.
He's just
Just
one of
can't
those
get rid of him.
guys. Yeah, he's just one of those guys. Just does the job.
All right, so what does that get us?
Well,
Add
I
it
just
up.
rambled off a bunch of things. So right now I just have the Vikings free square on the money line, the Rams -1, Pittsburgh plus 2.5. We could throw in, I mean, the Falcons. I would want to bring that down from 3.5 to 3 if we were going to do that. The Saints have given up, but the Falcons may also rest some guys. They may not have Drake London, and I feel horrible. Chris Olave's career is probably over.
Career?
That was his fifth or sixth concussion that he suffered.
Oh,
And it wasn't even like that bad of a hit. So he's probably worse off than Tua right now as far as concussions, and he's going to see a specialist, and he's going to miss extended time. And
damn.
they'll probably tell him, hey, sorry, I do not recommend continuing. So we may not see Chris Olave play football again.
He's only in the league for what, 4 or 5 years?
Hasn't been in that long, and
Yeah,
man,
5 years,
he's
4 concussions.
so damn good. But he had a couple in college too.
Yeah.
So damn good, and he's just not going to ever reach his full potential because of injuries, which sucks. But the Saints have kind of given up. How about the 49ers get Christian McCaffrey back? They're 6.5-point road favorites in Tampa. Tampa still doesn't have Mike Evans.
Tampa looked all right though, dude. Tampa almost fucking beat.
Did they look all right, or does Kansas City
They
look like maybe the Broncos could cover those 8 points because they're a little
I'd say if they
vulnerable?
go for 2 and they get in, bro, that's
They
the
should
biggest
have went
story
for
of the
2.
weekend. I know, but if they do and they get in, that's the
But
biggest story of the weekend. They were 1 point away from it, so
But
they looked all right.
because
Baker's
they
gonna
went to
bake, dude.
overtime, I was able to beat Josh Martin in our Comedy Store League because I had Kareem Hunt, and that touchdown run was exactly what I needed to
Oh,
get over the
okay.
top. And this was 2 weeks removed from Josh basically sending a group text because he was in first place and he was undefeated, and I'm the best. Are you guys even trying? Blah blah blah. And he's lost 2 weeks in a row now.
Good.
Welcome back to this is fucking football, dude. It's week to week. Um, I think of those games, if we were going to add a fourth to the Vikings, Rams, and Steelers, I probably would go with the Chargers at home. Um, yeah, I probably feel strongest about that. But also the last game that we haven't touched, the Cardinals at home are getting plus odds, plus money
Yes, against
against
the
the
Jets.
Jets.
I did see that one too.
That's interesting.
I like that one. I like the Cardinals.
So maybe we get a little aggressive and we take that plus 110 on the money line.
I like it. I don't know if you guys want to do it, but I like it.
I
That was my
I
second
already
choice.
punched it in, and that $50 adding the Cardinals on the money line, Vikings on the money line, Rams -1, and the Steelers plus 2.5. That $50 is going to yield us
Oh,
$474.27.
come on now. We got this, guys,
Yeah,
huh?
so I'm going to go ahead and lock that in.
Lock it in, dude.
That looks
Lock
really
that shit
nice.
in. Take the Bengals tonight +6 if you get it in time, but that's what I just did. Um, that's it, guys. That's the podcast for this week. We love you guys. We love each and every one of you. We hope that your fantasy teams are doing well. Your gambling success is high, and all your teams win, but they're not going to. A lot of teams are going to lose this weekend.
Yeah.
So hopefully yours doesn't, but it will. And if it does, that's okay. We move on, right?
Unless you're the
Life goes
Chiefs.
on. Just like the Kamala people are saying. Life goes on, and give me your money. That's the podcast. We'll talk to you guys next week. Later.
Go Bills.
Bills.
Thank you very much for joining me. How you been? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Steve Renazizi.